Um, Possible idea to discuss would be the topic I left hanging in the previous video. The topic was, are games art? And by games, I don't mean video games, but games. Like hide and seek. I don't know. Games you would play as a child in the playground. Like a game. um, the reason why I have some suspicion that games may not be art, and not because of this, less important or anything, but the reason why I think they may not be art is because I think that a game has no audience or something like that. Like, if I'm playing hide and seek with a group of people, someone pretends to be, whatever, the wolf or the one who chases, and the others pretend to be the people who are running away. Everyone is playing, so no one's observing the game as it happens. So that's my question. Does art need an audience? I'm tempted to say yes. Art needs an audience. That's what art kind of has, an audience. There's the art, and there's the audience, observing the art. And the audience, of course, can be the audience of a book. You're the audience of the book that you're reading, so to speak. So anyway, that's my question. Does art need an audience? I think so. I think games, in as far as they are sort of situations where everyone is role-playing and involved in the game, are not art because they don't have an audience. They are something else. They are more akin maybe to comedy, perhaps. They have more to do with breaking things, destroying known structures, creating new sorts of freedom in new kinds of places, but not perhaps creating a new structure. That I think is where an audience or an observer becomes necessary. I don't know if that even can be expanded much at the moment by me, because I haven't thought about it too much. But I suppose comedy, to me, seems to have something to do with the breaking of forms. You break an expected form, and it's funny. The fun seems to come from things that you thought were one way breaking and becoming another way. Whereas art, and I guess by art, I suppose I mean tragedy in this way, or drama, even when it's funny or fun, would have something to do with the establishing of new forms. And then those forms are appreciated by an audience. Could you say that comedy has no audience then, in this weird way? Maybe comedy has no audience in a certain way, because the audience of a comedy is involved in the comedic act. Even if the comedian doesn't address the audience or doesn't pick out members of the audience, I think that the audience is not so much observing. Right, the audience isn't observing the art of comedy. The audience is creating the art of comedy because the audience is the one who laughs. Like, without the audience's laughter, there is no comedy. The comedy has to do with the reaction of the audience, almost sort of 100%. Whereas art of a non-comedic style, as I'm defining it, requires an audience. So it does. That's the weird thing. It requires an audience, but the audience doesn't have to react in order for the art to take place. The audience can simply perceive, but the reaction is sort of unnecessary almost. You don't have to react a certain way in order for, at least that's the feeling I get. Like, I think comedy requires a reaction, and therefore the audience is participating in the creation of the comedy, in the destruction of the known forms. Whereas in art, the forms are being created, and almost like they need to be observed, that their creation also somehow is tied in with the observation, but in a different way that I haven't thought about. So anyway, I'll think about this and see how it ties into video games at some later point, I suppose. Okay, anyway, thanks.